welcome to the 2024 IPF World Championships here live in Druskininkai, Lithuania. I am Ryan Six-Pack Lapidat, accompanied in the booth with Amelia Potter. And Amelia, we have the 59 kilo class and a very stacked 59 kilo class. A lot of people saying possibly the most stacked in any World Championship previous.
Oh man, these weight classes this year are absolutely incredible. Somebody asked me earlier, Amelia, what are the weight classes you are looking forward to seeing the most? And I just could not pick.
Yeah, it's a tough question. That's a tough question. The 59 kilo class today, this is going to be split up, Group A, Group B. Here's the Group B lifters. And of course, in Group A, returning world champion Wasker Carpio of USA, as well as a stacked field from the rest of the world. Ishtiaq from Britain, British lifter and yourself, but of course Dixon from Canada, Ivan Campano from Spain. It's going to be very difficult to get onto the podium, and this year getting onto the podium, very important because it's also a qualifier for the World Games.
There is a lot on the line, not to mention Sheffield as well.
Isaac Wong from Singapore will kick us off. 157.5 kilos for his opening squat.
Just like that, the championship kicks off already.
And because the 59 kilo class is split into two different groups, there's 7 lifters in this group, and the action is just going to be flying by. And it's something that these lifters may or may not be accustomed to, but it's going to impact them when you're hitting these top-end heavyweights. More and more countries from Asia sending lifters to the World Championships.
Nice steady opener there for Wong.
And the first lift of the 2024 World Championships is completed. 3 white lights.
Yeah, that's a big weight on his shoulders to carry, and I'm not just talking about the squat.
Oh, wow. You're on your A game already, Amelia. Mohammed representing Kuwait. 24 years old, 3 years competing, starting off with 170 kilos. Previous personal best, 180 kilos. And Kuwait starting to get more and more into the powerlifting game. We're seeing more and more lifters from that region.
Yeah, it's great to see representation from some of those smaller countries that we haven't seen as much of. Strength is definitely there. Look good.
Makes easy work of that.
Yeah, very comfortable.
Al Katim is on the board. You will start off with 172.5 kilos. Previously hit 185.
That's a lovely looking opener there from you.
Yeah, it's a little bit of work, but some lifters, that's how they take these. I mean, it's difficult to look at the bar speed and overanalyze. Obviously, Penn is the easiest lifter to use, where he's in the warm-up room and it can look like a grinder,
Yeah.
and there's still a lot more left to go.
Especially on the opener, because like you said, if Panna did an opener and we'd never seen him before,
Right.
We'd be like, oh, how much does he have left in the tank? So
Matteo, 175, representing Italy. Looks on point.
BY Light say good lift.
And with these 59s, sometimes it could be a big cut. And some of these gentlemen, they're not as short as you might think for a 59-kilo lifter. So you got to anticipate that was a big cut for them. When you're traveling, flying, it makes you retain water. It's a whole nother ball game, cutting on the road. And Sai, 185 for his opening squat. He's hit 202.5. 7-year veteran in the game at only 28 years old.
Yeah, Chinese Taipei, another country we're seeing a lot more athletes come through of now.
Now that depth, it's going to be interesting to see what the refs say. 2-1, he makes it.
Yeah, he leans quite far forward, and makes it hard sometimes to tell where that hip crease is. So let's have a look again on the replay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's one of those borderline calls. It could go against you or for you. And representing Korea with 202 kilos, Zhang.
Our penultimate lifter out. It is moving quickly.
And for the openers, that's fine. But when we get to the third squats, it might be quicker than they're used to in training. Korea is not a short flight. Oh, wow, yikes. That was a tough opener. He gets it.
Yeah, and he's lucky. I think he might have just hit some turbulence. I'm not sure if it was a strength issue, and I'm hoping it's not.
Depth was there, but yeah, that got shaky, sticking points all over. That looks like what you would anticipate a third to look like, not your opener. However, like you said, we see some lifters have a tough opener, clean it up, come out, and they're right back on track. And Lithuania's own Valchukas.
Our final lifter out to take the opener here from the home nation.
210 kilos.
This is a big opener for the first flight of lifters.
Yeah, you had pointed out to me the world record is, oh no. I'll scratch that. And that is a little unnerving. Look at, he's a hometown lifter, so obviously travel isn't something that has to be a big issue. Weighed in. Wow, look at that too. And he weighed in while underneath at 56.7 kilos. So the weight cut was an issue, travel wasn't an issue. That's surprising.
Yeah, I'm hoping, you know, maybe he just hit the hole quite hard and he can come back and get it in a second, but it is concerning, Ryan.
Isaac Wong from Singapore, 167.5, 10 kilo jump. Now, if you see a 10 kilo jump in his weight class, ordinarily that seems big. However, it could be that Team Singapore was saying, we take no chances, we're going extra light, and this isn't a risky jump by any means. The first one was just super easy and well within their means. I'm all right with that decision. It's the World Championships. Just get on the board.
Yeah, and his personal best is 172.5, so you would think this is within his reach.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, it is a good grind, but that is his second.
That's second, and again, this turnaround, I mean, there's very little time to recuperate. He's going to be back out here before he knows it, and that was a fight. These lifters and the coaches are going to have to adjust according to the schedule, and with 7 lifters, this turnaround is very quick. You comes back out to 177.5, 5-kilo jump from his opener. 7.5 kilos below his personal best. Let's see how he handles it. Depth looks good. It's work, but what do you think, Amelia?
Yeah, it looked good from here. Like you said, a little bit harder, but you know, he did jump 5 kilos. So perhaps a couple more kilos in the tank, but I wouldn't make an equal jump to his third, but looking good.
Mateo 180 even, 5-kilo jump. And Wong from Singapore opting not to come out for his third. And the pace is beginning to reveal itself. Again, he hits it. It's work. It'll be interesting the jump they choose.
3 white lights, a good lift. And as you said, yeah, I think that timing is just catching up on them now. And it'll be interesting to see how that affects the thirds, because it's affecting the seconds.
Some lifters, when they go into a competition, will hit PRs in their second attempt as well as their third. When the pace is this quick, I would suggest not looking to hit your PR in your second and to better it again on your third. Stay in the pocket. As Muhammad comes out to 182.5, and 180 was his previous personal best, so he's going against my suggestion here, but you never know.
Yeah, 12.5 kilos is a big jump.
Again, though, Team Kuwait might have anticipated this and put in a very light opener. That moved pretty well.
Yeah, it looked good.
Refs agree.
Yeah, 3 white lights. It seemed like it did pay off for him, which is good considering how fast this is moving. Let's have a look at that again.
And everything about the PRs as well, possibly not on the second and third back-to-back, it really does depend how old your previous PR is.
Yeah, and also some of these athletes might train this quickly, you know, trying to get a quick session in after work.
Sai, 192.5, 7.5 kilo jump.
Is 10 kilos below his best squat.
So depth from this angle, and we're not on the platform. Yeah, it's right on that line.
You did say that for his open as well, so I do think it's the position that he is in. You know, you can see as we look back at it, he's leant quite far over, and it does just hit that depth.
Right. Yeah, it looks better from this angle on the replay.
Definitely doesn't want to go higher than that, though.
So here we are once again, 210 kilos loaded for Valčiukas of Lithuania. Missed it on his opener. Just to give some perspective, 240 kilos is the world record.
Yeah, this is no small squat.
30 kilos off from the world record. Had he hit it in his opener, maybe the world record was in play for his third, but that's likely, my goodness.
And it just looks a bit heavy. What do you think, Ryan?
I mean, there's technical adjustments you can make, but you're not going to get stronger in this period of time. And the problem is he has very little time to recuperate. He had to fight for that one. Depth was there, but my goodness. Yeah, he did look like he got pulled out of pocket. That looks like a strength issue.
Yeah, which puts him in a sticky situation heading into his third and final attempt. course, you need a squat on the board to continue to build a total. Otherwise, you get disqualified from the competition.
Ji-Hoon Jung, 210 kilos, 7.5 kilo jump, and you're right, he's facing elimination. Now he can continue to lift, but it won't register a total. No team points for the host nation, Lithuania, and that's going to hurt not just him, but the whole national team as a whole. Very important third attempt coming up. But first, the final of the second attempts for Ji-Hoon Jung of South Korea.
It looks strong.
Very smooth. And he's in the lead in squats after 2 rounds. Pacing themselves well. I see Peter from RTS handling them, and they know what they're doing. A lot of these nations, you have your national team coaches. You'll also have some of these coaching services. Some national teams have more experience than others, but you can rely on some personal coaches as well. Make it an all-around team effort.
Just like that, we are already into that third round of squats.
180 for you. Yeah, we're moving quick. As Group B almost comes to a close, and we move into Group A.
Yeah, he's jumped 2.5 kilos, which is the minimum jump you can make without it being a record.
Oh, and you know what? That was probably exact number he could have hit.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a perfect call from the team there.
They got the most out of the lifter, 3 for 3. And I'm okay with Singapore's Wong not coming out for the third. Conserve some energy. The pace was a little faster than they would have anticipated, but there's a lot of lifting left to go, and you don't want to empty the tank in the squats. I think it's a good move.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
Matteo, 185, representing Italy.
Strong final attempt there.
Another good attempt selection. That was probably right on the money. He had to work for it, but still has some energy left for the next 2 events. And look at the form here. Never really gets pulled out of position. The bar path up and down. Mohammed Al-Katan of Kuwait. 190, he hit 182.5, which was equaling his previous personal best. And he's fired up for this one.
Yeah, and we thought the 12.5 would be too much, but actually he worked well with it.
A little bit smaller jump for his third, but I think it's a good idea. Whoa! Nice catch by the spotters and loaders there.
For a very split second, I thought he did a very Olympics-style squat.
You know, I'm not going to lie. I thought he was just hitting depth and more depth than he needed for a second there. I was going to say, wow, but lost the bracing and the spotters jumping in quickly. You have to make those decisions so quickly, and it's deceiving when you're that close. The spotters are so close. You weren't entirely sure. Is he done? Did he miss it?
Yeah, is he just squatting deep?
Yeah. Easy when you're afar, when you're hovering over somebody. And Sai, 205, coming up from 192.5 on his second. That's a good healthy jump, Amelia. 12.5 kilos.
Yeah, bigger than it was from his opener to his second. So be interesting to see. The time has not got longer between. It's got shorter, in fact. So perhaps he's not coming out and he's just giving his opponents a bit of a breather, which is a sportsmanlike thing to do.
Yeah, when it's already this fast a turnover, if you're not coming out for your third, usually you might load up and allow all the other athletes that minute of respite. Wong from Singapore opting not to give that to his opponents because, listen, while it's gentlemanly and sportsman, it is still a sport. It is still competition, so you got to make that decision.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes you just want to get out of there and not think about anyone else but yourself.
Valčiukas of Lithuania backed himself into a corner by missing 210 on his opener and his second attempt. This is the third and final attempt at 210. Should he fail to hit this, he will not register a total.
There's big support from everyone here. He's a home team athlete. But everybody in the crowd wants to see him get this.
Oh my goodness!
What a fight. Let's see what the lights say.
No, but I tell you what, they should go to the jury because you have nothing to lose by protesting. Let's take a look at.
I was a little worried about the depth, but I got so excited.
Oh, look good from that end. So if you get one white light, the coach can approach the jury and ask them to review it and see if it gets overturned. I see the coach approaching the jury right now. You have nothing to lose, so you might as well. If you don't, your lifter's out of there. So the jury overturned it. So the lift is good, and the Lithuanian continues in the competition. The crowd voicing their approval for the overturn.
Boy, did he earn it.
Yeah, that was a stitch dramatic Group B of the 59 kilo class, and last lifter of Group B, Zhang of South Korea, 217.5. Seven and a half kilo jump from the opener to the second. 7.5 from the second to the third. And if that passes on depth, 3 for 3 it does. Right on the money, and he's got a lot left.
Yeah, that was great selection from Team Korea there.
Yeah, that was real close in terms of depth. Some go your way, some don't. And we will move directly into Group A, where Louis will hit 165. The New Zealander, a massive puller. And when we get to the deadlifts, that deadlift world record is in serious danger.
Opening just 10 kilos below his squat PB of 175. Just adjusting the rack height for him there, so the clock will restart.
Dion Louis made sure to tell me in the warm-up room that world record's in danger, but we have done our research and I've seen what he's done in training. Expect some fireworks from Group A. Not a little bit of work, but there's no question. Yeah, he gave a little sigh at the top. Woo. Okay, a little tougher than I thought, but sometimes it's the way it goes. You get a little bit of nerves out, and he went maybe even a little lower than he needed to. Let's see on the replay.
I did think that. He went very deep.
Yeah. And sometimes that's it, where you're like, I want to sink this. It's the World Championships. I want the judges to be confident. You sink it further than you need to, and it becomes a lot heavier.
Yeah, absolutely. Those few inches do matter when it comes to squat depth.
England's Nabi Ishtiaq, Great Britain's Nabi Ishtiaq, 175. And he is a podium threat.
Yeah, another athlete opening 10 kilos below their best. Also has a pretty big pull on him.
In prep for this, he's had a 600 kilo total.
That was very easy.
One call on depth. And this year, because the 59s are so stacked, the podium will probably look like 600 kilos and up. Haven't seen that before.
Yeah, it's going to be a big battle all the way until the end in this flight. Oh, and the jury has overruled that to a no lift for Nabi of Great Britain.
If I'm honest with you, when I saw that replay, it looked high. And when I saw it in real life, I was not certain. Just being fair. Takayama, 185, representing Japan.
And that might hurt Nabi when it comes to the fight for the podium.
It is going to be so close to get that bronze medal.
No question on depth there.
Yeah, we wait with bated breath for those white lights.
I was really hoping that was
Look,
no red after saying that.
You said no question, but there's always a question.
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah. I put it in brackets, the question mark.
That's right. Air quotes around that.
Yeah.
Dixon representing Canada, 187.5, also a medal threat. The battle to get on the podium, it's going to be a tight one in every weight class, but the 59, it's the most stacked we've ever seen it.
Now the weight looked comfortable. Let's wait for the lights there.
Yeah, another smooth opener for the Canadian.
I've got to say the depth looks better on the replay than it did the first time round, so looking strong.
Even Campano from Spain, 200 kilos even. He's hit 210. No stranger to the international scene at Junior Worlds, Europeans.
I believe him to still be a junior.
01. And he, despite that resume with all those national events, this is by far the most important competition he's ever been in. This is by far the toughest pack of 59s he's ever faced. And it looks like he's rising to the occasion. That looked good to me.
Yeah, it moved like butter. He gets a blue, I want to say maybe for elbows. Let's have a look. Supporting on the legs.
Yeah, I wouldn't say supporting, they touched.
No, I don't agree. I think it looked good, so the jury agree, I think.
And here is the returning world champion, Wasker Carpio, 202.5. Wasker had a phenomenal prep leading into this. He historically had some big, huge hero cuts to make the 59 class. Said he was not going to do that for Worlds, kept his body weight low. At the American National Championships, despite a massive weight cut in the 11th hour, registered a huge total, 638 if I'm not mistaken. And I think that's what they're going to try to hit today as well. And Wasker should be on the board.
Yeah, 3 white lights, a good lift, good start to the competition.
Fist bump, Matt Gary, head coach Team USA. Matt roundly agreed to be the greatest game day coach of all time, in Team USA bringing in Matt Gary for this one.
Yeah, not a bad person to have in your corner at all.
Well, they're going to need it because the other nations are here and ready to scrap it out. Speaking of former world champions, Antoine Garcia representing France. France not unaccustomed to winning world titles either. And Garcia will not be intimidated by Wasker. 210. Garcia in a fight for that podium. Won his world title back in 2022.
And this sits just 7.5 kilos below Garcia's squat PB, so maybe made some good gains recently.
Yeah, I've been following his preparations for the World Championships, and they've gone very well.
It looks like it. That was a lovely opener.
Yeah, you see the weight lopsided on his back. Don't worry about that. That's how he trains. Not everybody's body are symmetrically built, but the bar path is down and up, and that's really the biggest indicator.
Yeah, and it moved quickly and smoothly.
Eugene Chung of Malaysia up next, 212.5.
Last squat opener out of the weight class.
And if he could keep a steady pace on this, he could surprise a lot of people for a threat to the podium as well as we look at the forecast. Now, this is just taking all the openers. And some people open big and slow down after that. So the openers don't tell the full story. Yeah, this is relatively slow for an opener. So that's right on cue. While based off of openers, he has a big forecast. He might be taking much smaller jumps than some of these other lifters.
Yeah, well, I do agree. If we look at the replay, though, he does go slowly on the way down. Just missed it there, but I think he could also be a lifter that just controls the squat, start to finish. I guess we'll have to wait and see.
It looked like he came forward a little bit, and the weight actually bullied him around a little bit. Usually you don't see that in an opener, but you clean it up a little, time will tell. And the way we're moving here, we're going to find out in just a few moments. But as of now, he's in the lead as 170 being loaded for Dion Louis of New Zealand. 5 kilo jump. Now he gave a big sigh after 165 kilo opener.
Yeah, he looked 5 kilos, really sensible here.
Looking very lifter on this one. He needs to conserve his energy because that world record deadlift is in play. Oh my goodness, and this is definitely tougher than he thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it's a good lift and lands him 5 kilos below his best squat, but it could be sensible to leave it there. What do you think, Ryan?
I'm telling you, if you want that world record deadlift, leave it there. You want to load something up for your fellow lifters, let the clock wind down, that's fine. But last year, he went for the deadlift world record and missed, and he was very upset. Told me in the warm-up room that will not happen again next year. Here we are, and energy conservation might be the game plan. Nabi, 175, once again, representing Team Great Britain. Nabi needs to get back on track and then have that conversation. Do you take your projected second, your targeted second, your targeted third, somewhere in between? Because if you're fighting for a podium finish, maybe you got to take your third and take a big jump for your next squat. That moved very nicely, and I think maybe they will. What do you think, Amelia?
Yeah, that was, I mean, it moved better than he did it the first time. I think maybe just some nerves, and I think hitting somewhere between the second and the third planned attempt is the smart place to go, especially if you're pushing for that podium. You know, you're going to get caught behind if you go for the planned second.
It's too tight a weight class. A podium finish again. You get to go to World Games, get a medal at the IPF World Championships, and in a class like this, that's big. Dixon, also a podium threat, 197.5, 10 kilo jump for him. That's a big jump. Not sure about the depth. Let's see what the judges say.
2-1, a good lift. Yeah, I was unsure in his opener, but he got it and it looked better on the replay. So let's have a look at that again.
This is the other side. So the side that gave him a red, can't really see with his elbows there. The side that gave him a red is a side that I'm viewing, and I'd agree with the ref. But people's hips aren't always resting at the same. It's not always parallel. Okay, so the jury, have overturned that squat. And if I'm honest, look, I'm Canadian. I thought it was a little high. So that should tell you all you need to know. Takayama from Japan, 200 kilos even.
This is a 15 kilo jump from his opener. This is a big jump. From memory, his opener was pretty tidy.
Nice depth.
Wow, that is a nice squat.
Takayama right on the money, 3 white lights.
I could see another 10 kilo jump in him if he wanted it.
Yeah, that was nice. No real slowdown. Now sometimes when you like to bomb it in and hit the low depth, the hamstrings hit the calves, it's like that, and then it falls off all of a sudden like when you get heavier. Campano, 212.5, representing Spain. And in prep for this, he came very close to a 630 kilo SBD day. Now the lockout, he missed the final deadlift. But if he could clean that up and hit anything around 630 today, that is a monster total. And a serious threat for Wasker. What do you think, Amelia?
It was a little bit of work. It's 2-1, a good lift. I think he's gonna have to be really on his best game today to catch up to Wasker, but it's not by any means impossible. He's projected well.
And if you noticed, on the sidelines was Team USA's Matt Gary. He doesn't like to see the video because he says videos lie to you. Sometimes lifts look easier than they are or harder than they are. He likes to see it, and it shows you how serious a threat Team USA is taking Campano. That's actually respect there when the head coach is, I need to see this because he might be a threat for me. Wasker. Oh, the jury overturned Campano's second squat. Also, okay, Wasker up next with 215. Also going to play into their strategy now. Wasker has a total in mind regardless, but number one is win. That looked about the same as his opener. His opener looked like work. His second looks like work. I think this is just how he's going to look today. Gave the thumbs up, said move it up.
He looks focused, he looks dialed in today. And even if it's not moving lightning fast, it's moving, and that's what matters.
You never know with some of these lifters in terms of the weight cuts and travel, how it'll affect them. Wasker looks okay and on point. Eugene Chong from Malaysia, 220, 7.5 kilo jump from his opener. It's a little tentative as he approaches the bottom. We'll see if he gets it past. I gotta agree with that if I'm honest. It moved well. He didn't overextend, exerting energy, but he might have needed to. Look at that, is just a stitch high in there.
Yeah, he just dances above the border there, and I was really concerned about that, but I've learned to bite my tongue until I see those lights.
Antoine Garcia, 222.5. Antoine, a grizzled veteran of the game. Been in several international competitions. Wants to get onto the podium, collect Team France some points. And this is a sizable 12.5 kilo jump. That's big in the 59 kilo class.
And heading into thirds, this will shoot him into squat gold as well. Although the kilos is what he's trying to collect really.
Nicely done by Garcia. And when Ivan gets a squat overturned and Ishtiak having to retake his opener, just checking out exactly where we're at here. There we are, yeah, Ishtiak retaking his opener, and these are all podium favorites. If Garcia can keep this pacing, it looks better and better for him. There's a lot of lifting left to go.
And the thing is, you know, they're going to be pushing each other the entire way, so when one of them slips, the other one pushes even harder, and if they slip, starts to become all a little bit messy then and up
Yeah.
for grabs.
Sometimes when a class is this tight, it turns into a bloodbath. Louis, 172.5, 2.5 kilo jump. Look, we had talked about whether he comes out at all. I hope he doesn't empty the tank for 2.5 kilos because he does have a deadlift world record he's going to attempt, but 2.5 more kilos onto the total helps. I'm not super surprised. That second attempt was difficult.
Yeah, the good news is he did fail it quickly. He didn't try and push through it too much.
I know, I know exactly what you mean. If you're going to fail, if it's just lights out, it happens to you, and the spotters come in, it's a lot better than grinding it out, locking it out, and then finding out, no, there's a technical reason it doesn't pass. Nabby, 185. Now, Amelia, he misses opener, retook that weight, which I think is a good idea. Is this his planned third, second, or somewhere in between, do you think?
I have a feeling this might be his planned second. 10 kilos seems like that kind of jump, so maybe they thought a bigger jump than that would just be too much of a risk.
And this is where it's all well and dandy to say, well, let's take our planned third, let's stay in the hunt. If you miss that, you're in very big trouble and probably way too far behind in this class.
Although it seems like he could have.
It's, 2020 hindsight. So he's got 185, and now Great Britain is collecting the kilos, and everyone else, as we've already seen from Ivan, people will start missing lifts as well, and you're still in it. It's very risky. It's difficult.
Now, he did get a red light for depth, and I can see the jury reviewing it. The first one did get overturned to the no lift, but I think he's fine. They're in disagreement, which is good for him.
Another podium favorite that missed the lift early, Dixon, 197.5.
Choosing to retake instead of risking it and going up, which I think is the sensible decision here.
Yeah, same with Britton and Ishtiak. And this is already a dramatic, exciting session as the 59s go to battle to make the podium.
Definitely
Oh
the
my
deeper.
goodness!
Wow.
Whoa! 3 white lights, so the jury cannot intervene. They need a red to intervene, and that was a heck of a performance.
Yeah.
Guts on display. Look at this fight. Whoa! And that was the fight of the session so far.
You can only respect it. That's absolutely incredible.
Does Canada proud. Ivan Campano, 212.5, missed this on his second. And maybe Dixon is some inspiration for Team Spain, missing, coming back and hitting. Such a tight and close race. This might be the best 59 kilo session I've ever commentated, and I've been doing this since 2016. Oh, through sheer will. Let's see what the judges say. 2-1, it's good. Amelia, what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, wow. He really saw everybody else collecting their kilos again. He said, I'm not missing out on any more. He does get a blue, which I think was for elbows, but I think he should be fine. It doesn't look like they were being supported.
Yeah, and that was a messy squat. It was just through determination that he locked that out. He needs this to stay in the hunt for the podium. Oh, and the jury does overrule it. And that is going to cost Team Spain and Campano in his podium ambitions. Let's see how it all shakes up as Takayama of Japan will attempt 212.5. And what a squat session in the 59s. Drama, controversy, you have it all.
We're less than an hour in.
Uh-oh. Nice catch again by the spotters.
Yeah, he did jump 15 kilos from his opener to his second, and he kind of kept that same sort of type of jump, but I think it was just a little bit too much.
The aggressive jumps catching up to him.
And exactly like you said, he hit the hole pretty hard, pretty deep, and it means that it was so much harder to get out when the weight got heavier.
Eugene Chung from Malaysia, 220, misses on his second, retaking it for his third. As we have 2 squats left. The 2 former world champions, while Carpio, still the reigning world champion. We'll see how that plays out. I'm not sure. Okay. Proved to be a moot point. I didn't think it was depth anyways, though.
Yeah, I think if you watch again on the replay, if you're able to see it, his right knee caved somewhat here as he hit the hole as well, which is hard to come back from anyway.
Yeah, both actually a little bit. Wasker Carpio of USA, 222.5. Currently in bronze medal position for the squats, and every event, squats, bench, deadlift, gets a medal. And of course the overall. Wasker will move from bronze to silver, but if we're honest, it's that overall world title Wasker wants. Defending world champion. Would love to make it back to back like Jordan, 96 and 97. And like the cover of Lethal Weapon. Wasker Carpio, third and final. Oh, right on the money. Perfect attempt selection by Team USA. 3 white lights, and that is how you go 3 for 3 and leave no kilos on the table. As Wasker tells the 59s, some of them stumbling, Wasker refusing to stumble, looking to retain his crown at the IPF World Championships.
One thing we're not going to see much of is bad number calls from Team USA this year.
That's for sure. Antoine Garcia also 2 for 2 coming into his third and final. And also knows how to win a world title in the 59 kilo class. Team France, unintimidated and not backing down, 227.5.
Quite a fair way separates the two right now, but anything can happen and every kilo will count because of that.
If I'm on, as soon as he hit that hole, looked like the tension was lost and it was a bit of an overshoot.
Yeah.
And Amelia, that was quite the 59 kilo squat session.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. Obviously, we saw the 2 front runners there walk away with gold and silver, but we had a B group athlete walking away with bronze there. Love to see.
As we take a look, Antoine off of body weight, nudging out Wasker, both of them having 222.5, and Zhang of Korea taking the bronze medal in the squat event. Don't go anywhere. If you do, please do return within 10 minutes as the 59 kilo class returns to the bench press session. Welcome back to the IPF World Championships as we continue in the 59 kilo class. I'm Ryan Sixpack Lapidot, accompanied in a booth with Amelia Potter. And Amelia, quite the battle in the squat session.
Yeah, it was exciting. We had people almost disqualifying, getting back in at the last second, fighting for medals, fighting for kilos, and I have a feeling it's going to be that way all the way until the final deadlift.
Had some unexpected misses by some podium favorites in the squat session, but Wasker, the returning world champion, going 3 for 3 and holding serve as we enter into the bench press event. This is split into 2 different groups, Group A and Group B. Group B being the lower nominations and Group A being the top end of the nominations. We will begin with Group B, but there will be no break. So don't go anywhere as the spotters and loaders get us ready, and you with 112.5 for his opening bench. We are live in Druskininkai, Lithuania.
The bar started. 112.5 for the first attempt of 2 yards.
I was just saying in our intermission, I've been commentating IPF World Championships since 2016, and this already is the best 59 kilo session I've commented on, and we just got through the squat session. We've had some surprises, overturn calls, the whole 9.
Three white lights say good lift, and yeah, if you're playing powerlifting bingo, you're probably already won.
Nice opener there.
Bar started.
And in dramatic fashion, Valchukas of Lithuania hit his 3rd and final squat after missing his opener and missing his 2nd attempt, facing elimination, and just gets that 3rd squat on the board. 210 kilos. Able to proceed into the bench event, and let's see if they chose a much easier opener to get himself on the board in the bench. Oh my gosh, look, I think it's going to pass, but that was more difficult than you would expect from an opener. And now I'm starting to see a bit of a trend, and perhaps he's just not having the day he thought he would.
Yeah. I mean, even though that was a tricky opener, a much smoother start than he had to squats.
Oh yeah, well, no doubt about that, but I'm thinking, what, 2.5 kilos?
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be jumping far and wide there.
And I really hope Team Lithuania takes a very conservative opener on deadlifts, because this day is not going as planned. And you have to adjust. Matteo of Italy, 115 for his opening bench. Nicely done.
And 2-1, a good lift. He does get a yellow from the center referee. Let's have a look at that from the front. Now in bench press, yellow could be a plethora of things.
I don't think I saw any infractions myself.
No, nor myself either. And the jury seem happy with it as well.
Jihu Jung, South Korea, 125 for his opening bench. Now you need your elbows straight to get the start command, and at the end, head down, butt down, feet can't lift up, they can slide but not lift up, and your elbows need elbow depth.
Yeah, there's a lot to think about.
Yep, 2-1, he's good.
Yeah, and that red would be, as Ryan just said, elbow depth. So let's have a look at that.
127.5 for Muhammad Al-Qadam.
It's close.
Yeah, so what we say when we mean elbow depth is that the elbow has to be in line with the top of the shoulder. Oh, and it seems the jury has overruled that to a no lift, unfortunately.
The jury has overruled the previous list.
Mohammed
Has overruled G's first
Al
attempts.
Katan, 127.5, representing Kuwait. No question on elbow depth there, but that is a tough opener.
Yeah. Where do you go from there, Ryan?
2.5 kilos at best. That's going to be a fight. I mean, you have to, obviously 2.5 kilos is the smallest jump you can make, but to get that, I mean, that was a serious fight for an opener.
Yeah.
He got it.
And I can't really see it being anything else other than strength. I really tried to watch there, so hopefully that's not the case, but
And for some of these weight classes, it can be the weight cut. Everything could be smooth, and in training camp, that kind of weight moves smoothly. But when you travel and weight cut at the same time, funny things can happen. As Sai, 135.
yeah, and Al-Qatan did weigh in at 58.8, so close to that 59 mark.
The opener for 59.
Opening on his personal best, 135.
And there will be a pause on the chest. They just want to see the bar motionless. So if it's a little unsteady, the quicker you have the bar motionless on your chest, the quicker you get that pause. It's really up to you as the lifter.
Yeah, and that was a lovely, easy opener. Maybe the smoothest we've seen yet.
Isaac Wong, 135.
It's a little bit of work there, but locks it out, and it's a good lift for Isaac.
That concludes the first round. For the second time, we allow the ball to move at 170.
Just like that, we've already finished our opening attempts on bench.
Wow. We are moving quickly.
With all Barjeong getting their opening attempt in.
117.5 for you. And interesting, Team Korea moving up 2.5 kilos despite Young missing his opener.
Bit of an uneven lockout, but manages to get there, and it is a good lift, 3 white lights.
120 kilos now for the second attempt of the beginning. Jump, 5 kilo volume speeding in the bar is Come on, man.
Alchukis, 127.5 kilo jump. That's a big jump. Amelia, we thought that opener was work. 7.5 kilos.
Oh, and he manages to grind, but can he lock it out is the question.
I'm not sure about that left elbow.
2-1, a good lift. The jury review it now for that blue, see if there's any downwards movement.
Yeah, that was untidy. And was it locked out, the left elbow? Yeah, That was. It's untidy. We'll put it that way. But it looks like it's going to stand as Matteo 120.
Just 2.5 kilos below his best bench. Really white lights, a good lift, has a good flare on him to reach that elbow depth.
Yeah, leaving no doubt on the depth. Nice and controlled. In 127.5 being loaded now. Ji Hoon Jeon from South Korea missed 125 in his opener. Moving up just a stitch regardless. But 2.5 kilos in the bench press, particularly in the 59 kilo class, is still a jump. Let's see if this pays off. Looks good to me.
And again, 2-1, a good lift, but the jury overruled it last time, so let's have a look at that elbow depth.
Look better. The jury, I think, is going to let it stand. Muhammad coming out to 130. Muhammad had one hell of a fight with 127.5, 2.5 kilo jump. It's the smallest jump he could take and the only reasonable option for Muhammad. 127.5 took all types of heart.
It's just too heavy, as we suspected. 2.5 was the most we thought he could go, and it was still a little bit too much.
I would not be mad at all if Muhammad didn't come out for his third and kept what energy he has for his deadlift event.
Yeah, I was a little bit worried he lifted his head as well.
It's difficult. He's got some fluffy hair, but I thought he lifted his head as well. And 137.5 for Wong. Isaac hit 135, 2.5 kilo jump, but again, 2.5 kilos, a decent jump in the bench press event, particularly in this weight class.
Yeah, I mean, these men are bench pressing over double body weight, so even a couple kilos makes a huge difference. Locks out one elbow at a time. It is a good lift, and as that gets heavier, we usually see that one arm lockout more prominent.
See Isaac's reaction after that bench. Lets out a big sigh. 140 for Sai. Decent second attempt.
Yeah, you can tell he's in his element when he's benching. Very comfortable.
And that was the final bench attempt in the second round. Already in the third and finals for Group B. And a reminder, after this round of benching, we will move directly into Group A with no intermission. You, 120, 2.5 kilo jump. And if you think these 2.5 kilo jumps, despite being the smallest possible option, are still big, wait until the 47 kilo class later today. I mean, some of these lighter weight classes, even though it's the smallest possible jump, it's still sizable. Can make or break you. Ooh, and speaking of, that left shoulder just is giving him all types of issues.
Yeah, unfortunately, just couldn't get it there today. You can even see from the start, though, the left shoulder went down way before the right shoulder did, and that caused some issues as he pushed through.
Yeah, he fought mightily, and the spotter's coming in, and the bar can go up, down on sides, not as a whole. It looked like it might have. Chukas of Lithuania, 122.5. 120 was a lot of work. 2.5 kilo jump from there. If I'm honest, 112.5 was a lot of work.
Yeah, it's just so hard to tell with him because, you know, after that opener, we didn't think 7.5 kilos was a smart bet, but he got it, albeit being a big fight. Let's see if he has a little bit more fight in him left.
Waves it off. Spotters take it.
He doesn't lose out on too much, so like you said, he jumped to the minimum he could. He came out and tried it to get those extra kilos that he may have lost on squat, but he walked away with the most he had today.
Matteo, 122.5, representing Italy. 2.5 kilo jump for him. And that was pretty smooth for a third attempt, Amelia.
Yeah, conserving that energy for deadlifts. Could add a few more kilos in him, I reckon, but bench is so fickle like that.
Yeah, what moves well at this weight, 2.5 kilos more might be too much. And 130 being loaded, Mohammed Al-Katan of Kuwait missed 130 on his second. 127.5 his opener was a lot of work. And I had suggested he might not even want to come out for the third attempt, conserve the energy. Let's see what they say, or what they do, rather. I think they might be letting the clock wind down, and I think that's a good decision by Team Kuwait.
Yeah, he got absolutely everything he could out of that opener. Maybe a good lesson learned moving forward. You always want to open with something that is light enough that if you need to do it 3 more times, that you can.
Give a quick shout out to some of our sponsors now that I have a second. Alico, which supplies all the equipment you see on the platform today, as well as SBD. See the spotters and loaders wearing the t-shirts, and a lot of the athletes wearing those singlets, wrist wraps, and knee sleeves, as the spotting and loading team get 132.5 ready for Ji-hoon Jeon of South Korea. 5 kilo jump, missed 125 on his opener, took 127.5, relatively smooth second attempt. Here we are, 5 kilos above that.
PB is 137.5, so hopefully this is a weight he's somewhat comfortable with.
Asking the loaders to get the bar adjusted.
Third and final attempt of bench press.
Wow, it was speedy.
2-1 for one ref gives him a red.
Yeah.
And does the jury like the elbow depth? Let's take a look.
This is the problem he's been having since his opener. He got overturned by the jury on his opener for depth. Got it on his second, and it looks like they've overruled it on his third as well, unfortunately.
Isaac Wong of Singapore, 140 for his third and final. One lifter after Isaac, and then we'll move directly into Group A. And this is a bit of a warning to Group A. The jury is active with that elbow depth.
Come on, Isaac, you got this. Come on, up, 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 come on, come on.
There was a sticking point. I seen it pause, but no down up. And the platform refs agree.
Yeah, I think that was a perfect call for him there for his third attempt.
Yeah, 2.5 kilos would have been too much. And a big 142.5 being loaded for Sai. Sin Musai taking a 2.5 kilo jump from his second.
Following Sai, we'll be going straight through to the A flight lifters.
This is a 2.5 PB attempt as well. So that matters. Come on, come on, come on, come on.
Too much on the day. And the B group concludes. And the A group begins. And up first, Dion Louis of New Zealand, 85 kilos, the deadlift monster.
So I have seen that drop from 100, which was a light opener for him anyway. I believe he's dealing with some shoulder issues at the moment, so I think bench is just something he's going to try and get through, save that energy for deadlifts.
And this is probably, I mean, there's two sides to this. It's good and bad. I know the shoulder issue is why he's dropping it down. However, squats were more of a scrap than he intended, and he could use a bit of a rest in the bench press event, regroup, get himself back on track energy-wise, and hit those deadlifts and possibly take that world record. That was nice, smooth, and easy. Look, if squats were tough, that bench took no energy out of him.
Yeah, and we knew it would be easy. It's well below what he can do. He's trying to take care of that shoulder, and it's the smart thing to do.
125 now being loaded for Dixon. The Canadian also had a scrappy squat event, missing a lift, coming back, hitting that weight, staying in the hunt for a podium.
Yeah, bench is going to be important. Although it's not as exciting as the fights in deadlift, it collects the kilos.
2-1, it's good. We'll see what the jury says because they have been active.
Yeah, and that would be for depth. So looking at the elbows here, as we have been. I think he should be fine with that. It looks definitely on the border, but like you said, the jury have been active.
Antoine Garcia of France, 125 as well. Three white lights. And if you don't want the jury intervening, get three white lights. Shuts the door on that conversation, and that is bang on elbow depth. Nabi, 130. Didn't have the squat event he was anticipating, but the podium's still in his sights because a couple of the other podium threats also didn't have the squat event they were looking forward to. The battle's not over.
Yeah, just needs to pick up some kilos here. He has a big deadlift on him.
That was smooth.
That was a very tidy looking bench for Mischniak. 3 white lights, a good lift. Very technically efficient.
Yeah, leaves no doubt in that opener. Japan's Takayama, 130 kilos for his opening bench.
Now he took some quite big jumps in his squat, so I'll be interested to see what he does here for his bench.
Yeah, some people like to do that in the squats, and they can handle those jumps when the weight's on their back. Bench press, it's a little bit more dicey, but you still see it. What do you think, Amelia?
You know what, I worried about my own judgment there for a second, but actually after seeing that move quite quickly, I think he'll take a relatively big jump. Obviously, relative to bench press, perhaps not the same as in squats. What do you reckon there, Ryan?
I agree with you. I think he could probably take 5 kilos, which, to your point, in the 59 kilo class on bench press is relatively big, despite it being, you know, the second smallest, 2.5 being the smallest. But I don't think more than 5 kilos, but I've been wrong before. 130 for Chong of Malaysia. And you just pointed out Takayama opting 140 kilos for a second. That's a 10 kilo jump, Amelia. That is huge for a 59 kilo bench.
That is a good lift there for Chong. And yeah, I mean, I thought he might follow a similar style. We'll find out if it is successful or not, but the opener looked really good.
It looked good. Did it look 10 kilo jump good, the 59 kilo class and bench? I have not seen that very often, but they know. They've done this before. And the Japanese, famous for the bench press event, very technically proficient. And Campano, 132.5. Coming into this, nominated second. And if you ask the experts, a lot of them picking him for that silver medal position. But it's a tight race, and a couple missed lifts, everything changes.
And speaking of missed lifts, his opener is 2-1, a no lift for elbow depth. Now, he's wearing a big t-shirt probably to try and help disguise that, but the referee saw right through it.
Sneaky, sneaky, but not sneaky enough. And yeah, it's those elbows could have been a stitch deeper. We'll see what you could do. Adjusting your setup on day of at a world championship, very difficult.
And the thing is, you know, if you're wearing the baggy t-shirt, they're looking out for depth because they're saying you have something to hide probably.
It draws attention, whereas Wasker, look at Matt Gary. You're going to find nobody more keyed in on game day than Matt Gary, and that's an intimidating face when it comes to game day coaching. He's the best of the best. And Wasker Carpio not hiding anything with that t-shirt. Let's say he handles 137.5. The defending world champion, no doubt on the elbow depth, and that's why. Little shaky on that right side.
Yeah, it was a little bit 1-2, and he gets a yellow from the right-hand side referee. So if we have a look at that from the edge, hope to see no lifts.
You see him having a conversation with Matt Gary. Matt Gary asking, now why was that? How did it feel? Because that's only an opener, and he still has to second and third attempt. He's on the board, though. What an interesting 59 kilo session.
Yeah, it is really being stirred up. The dust is being kicked up.
Yeah, in a major way. I mean, we have Campano, who's a podium threat, misses opener. Wasker hit, a little bit of stickiness, and Matt Gary had to have that conversation with him off to the side. 92.5 for Dion Louis of New Zealand.
It's also important to consider, as lovely as it is, this is the new Eleiko Skypad, and it is lovely. I have taken it for a while, but it is new for a lot of lifters to bench on.
Yeah, the elements, everything that's new, it's variable.
That we know strength isn't an issue here. He's just taking care of that shoulder.
Easy free white light.
Now, as you were saying, there are lots of variables: travel, weight cutting, different equipment.
And for some of these lifters, talking about new, they are new to the international scene. And it's not just the level of reffing, but the entire atmosphere, the focus of the entire community watching IPF Worlds. Antoine Garcia, 130 kilos.
And it looks good. A very smooth looking second attempt. 3 white lights, a good lift.
This is Rafael Diaz's second attempt at this weight. He got reds last time. He's going to stick those elbows as deep as they can possibly go.
132.5 for Ivan Campano of Spain. Missed this on his opener. Team Spain watching very closely. Now let's see. This was on depth before. 2-1. So as long as you have one red, the jury can intervene. And will they intervene?
Let's have a look at that again in the replay.
Better.
Yeah, it definitely looks better.
I think the jury agrees. I see them deliberating though.
Yeah, and it's a 5-man jury. Decisions need to be unanimous in the jury.
Yeah, 5-man and Wolfman. Dixon, 132.5 as well. And it looks like Campano's on the board.
Very tidy.
7.5 kilo jump for Dixon, but he handles it.
The bar is loaded for Nabi.
137.5 for Britain's Ishtiaq Nabi. Sabrina Moore handling him today. Sabrina's coached and competed at international events and knows what she's doing.
Still looks really strong there from Ishtiaq. It is a good lift, 3 white lights.
So coming into the event, there was discussion, will we see a podium 600 kilos and up? Now that we've had some missed lifts, I wonder if that's still gonna transpire because of the missed lifts. It's been a lot more exciting, and I'm not at all mad if we don't have a 600 and up podium. But I'm sure the lifters, it's got to be a lot more anxiety and stressful. But for the viewers, this is exactly what you want to see. Don't know what's going to happen next.
Yeah, we love the roller coaster. And we're seeing some upsets as well, even with prognosis. Jong from the B group is looking really strong.
Chong from Malaysia, 137, 37.5.
3 white lights, a good lift.
This is for a provisional bench press goal. We want to follow the bar is loaded.
Now this is the jump we were debating on the first round.
Yeah, Takayama, 140, opened with 130. A 10 kilo jump is huge in this weight class.
Let's see if it pays off for him. His opener did look good, but as you said, Ryan, 10 kilos is a huge jump, almost 20% of their body weight.
Wow.
And 2-1, a good lift. He does get a depth call from the center referee, so let's just wait and watch that. But the weight looked good.
Yeah, the depth on the left side looks high. Right side was better. And let's see the jury, deliberating.
And it looks like it's going to stay, I think.
145 for reigning world champion Huáscar Carpio, representing USA. 137.5. Looked like some work, but so did his opener in squats, and he had no issues with the second and third attempt. Lot like his opening squat and then his second attempt on squat. Same on the bench press. It's work. It's never going to fly off the chest. He's never going to smash the squats, but he will handle the pace right through to his third attempts. Ever the professional.
Yeah, and if anything as well, even though it wasn't quicker, it definitely looked smoother than his opening attempt.
Yeah, very well controlled. I think it gives Matt Gary the confidence to load their projected third, and Dion Louis 100 kilos even.
As you said before, this, the silver lining of this is he does get a bit more of a rest after those difficult squats before deadlifts. That is a good lift for Dion.
And as we look ahead at the projected, which takes all the completed lifts as well as the opening deadlift, it is so close to get onto that podium with Francis Garcia up next with 132.5, thus far projected into silver. Campano from Spain into bronze. Chong from Malaysia in fourth. Fifth, we have Young. And then sixth, Dixon from Canada. All of this can be shaken up come the deadlift event. Some people take huge strides in that deadlift event, and a lot of things change. Oh, Garcia works for that third attempt, but he gets it. 3 white lights. Jury cannot intervene. 3 for 3 in the bench press event.
Yeah, he is not looking to lose any more kilos, especially heading into deadlifts.
Despite being a world champion in 2022, some people were questioning whether Garcia would even get onto the podium in the super stacked 59 kilo class. Garcia rising to the occasion. But Ivan Campano missed 132.5 in his opener, taking 137.5. Hot on the heels of Garcia. And Campano has a deadlift advantage. I think the depth looked good from this angle. 3 white lights, the jury cannot intervene this time.
Yeah, the final attempt, the first one with 3 white lights. It's a good place to be heading into deadlifts, regaining some of those kilos.
And Campano can pull. He's got a big deadlift on him. It's just a question of the lockout at the end. It came out of his hands while in prep and training. He disclosed it. If he can hang on to those poles, and he's going to need to, he might nudge ahead. Catching Wasker Carpio's probably out of reach, but that's silver medal. And at the very least, the podium, but it's stacked. And Dixon, 137.5.
Unfortunately, just a little bit too heavy today for Dixon. And of course, more than ever, the podium is important this year. As we keep mentioning, those who make it onto the podium get an invitation to the World Games next year.
Yeah, that'll be in China 2025. Here comes Nabi, 140. Nabi on the projected, somewhat trailing behind in 6th place coming into the event. Definitely a podium threat. And it's not over yet. Nabi's got a big deadlift, and he can cover some ground in that event. Well, that should be 2.5 kilos. He doesn't have to load up on the deadlift to do so. 3 white lights.
Yeah, and heading into deadlift, that missed squat is really going to hurt him. But a few different athletes are in that same situation.
Yasutuka Takayama, 142.5, 2.5 kilo jump. Massive jump from his first to his second, and the smallest possible jump from his second to his third.
This will move him into bench silver on bodyweight. Currently sat in bronze. If he gets this, silver will be guaranteed. And 3 white lights, a good lift. He gets that silver bench medal.
Eugene Chung of Malaysia, 142.5 in the bench press event. This will take him from 6th place to the bronze medal position, with only Wasker left to go after this.
You know what, that is incredible, because from the moment that bar was in his hands, he was shaking like a leaf. So he moved that incredibly well.
Yeah, he had to turn on the engine for this one. 3 white lights and a podium finish in the bench press event. $147 for America's own Wasker Carpio, 2.5 kilo jump. This would be the gold medal in the bench press event. Wasker pacing himself for the gold medal overall. Nicely done, and again, looks a lot like his second attempt, 3 white lights.
Yeah, it just seems the more attempts he gets in, the more and more comfortable he seems on that platform.
Just a bit pesky on that right side, but he's able to lock it out, clinch the gold medal. Takayama of Japan taking the silver, and Chung of Malaysia taking the bronze. as the battle continues, there's a projected total there. Still got the deadlifts and a lot can happen, but Wasker in the lead, Chung from Malaysia, followed by Antoine Garcia from France. But we have some massive deadlifters in this 59 kilo class. Please do return for the conclusion. Who wins the title? Who makes it onto the podium? Who qualifies for World Games? And welcome back to the IPF World Championships in the 59 kilo class. I am Ryan Sixpack Lapidat, accompanied in booth by Amelia Potter. And Amelia, as we look at the totals as they stand right now, Wasker Carpio, defending world champion, in the lead. Chung from Malaysia in silver, and Antoine Garcia in the bronze. But there was a lot of lifting left to go. We have some monster deadlifters in the 59 kilo class, including Dion from New Zealand, who will possibly attempt the world. Well, you know what? I would be shocked if he doesn't at the very least attempt it. He's done so many times in training already, and we have a scrap to get onto the podium, win a medal, and possibly clinch a spot for the World Games.
Yeah, it is stacked, and you know the subtotals aren't always honest in how it's going to end out, because as Ryan said, there are some big deadlifters, and just to let you know what that record is, the world deadlift record is 275 here.
Louis from New Zealand opening with 260.
Yeah, and that seems like just a couple leaps away.
Valchukas, 130 kilos for his opening pull. Valchukas had a pretty scary squat event, missing a second in first attempts. Much less dramatic opening lift for the deadlifts. Clinches that total. It's secure.
Yeah, and getting your deadlift opener in isn't just adding kilos, it is securing that total, as you said, Ryan.
Now, a reminder, any records you break, and we know all the world records, and we'll notify you of those, but there's also national records, all these national champions. None of those records stand unless you get a total registered. Mohammed Al-Khatin of Kuwait, 180 kilos for his opening pull. This is Group B of the 59 kilo class. After they've completed all 3 rounds of deadlifts, we will move directly into Group A with no intermission. Smooth opener and 3 white lights.
200 now for Harrison Wong.
Wong, 200 kilos even. Representing Singapore.
Nice, easy looking opener there for Isaac, and 3 white lights, a good lift.
Everything moving smoothly.
Now, if you thought we moved through squats and bench quickly, you just wait to see how fast we get through these deadlifts.
Only 7 lifters in the deadlift event, and when one of the lifters pulls out of their last attempt, and there's only 6, and sometimes 2 lifters pull out on the last attempt, and there's only 5, comes around quick. Unless the lifter lets the clock wind down for that attempt that they don't come out to. Side, 205. Smooth on the way up, a little bobble at the top, but the bar doesn't go down up. 3 white lights. See on this replay. A little tilt, but the bar doesn't go up down. And I seen at the corner of my eye, you look at me, Amelia, when that happened, you're looking for an expression on my face. Did you see what I see?
Yeah, and I'm glad the bar didn't go down, the shoulders didn't unlock, but you do worry sometimes when you only see it firsthand.
Jung from South Korea, 220 for his opening pull. After you get your opening deadlift in, then you can start taking some jumps. So far, all the lifters opting for a 10 kilo jump on their second attempt. Wow, that was smooth.
Really snappy deadlift there from Jong. Of course, Jong walking away with his squat bronze here in the B group, having a great day so far.
Yeah, despite being in the B group, which is an obvious disadvantage, you know, see what the other competitors are doing when you're putting in your attempts, vying for that podium. He is so far in 5th, and Matteo from Italy, 220 to get on the board.
3 white lights, a good lift, and another athlete who just had a little bit of a wobble with their torso at the top, but the bar remains still. Just see that here. Bit of a wobble.
Yep.
Keeps the bar going down.
It's not often you see it, but it does happen. Lifters in the B group end up in the top 5 overall, or sometimes even on the podium. Be interesting to see how the story unravels for South Korea's Jung. 132.5 for you.
Yeah, this is just 2.5 kilos below his best of 235. Yeah, Jong putting the pressure on that A group, but obviously, as you said, with the disadvantage of not being able to have the foresight of what he needs to get to end up on the podium.
His day will all be over when the Group A takes the platform. They'll know exactly what they need to load up to nudge ahead of them. Wide stance, super smooth. Right to the lockout, 3 white lights. And everyone in Group B is on the board. Now we can expect to see some bigger jumps. Talked about Zhang being in the hunt overall, and he's taking a 12.5 kilo jump from his opener. Chukas 140, 10 kilo jump for him.
He seems to be having a good time, enjoying himself, and we love to see that.
Yeah, well, look, after he got through that squat event, everything's all downhill from here, nice and easy. That squat event rose to just the cortisol levels of the Lithuanian coaching staff.
See the new Aleiko clips there.
Got to be careful on that pole. If they think there's any assistance with the legs, they won't give it to you. 3 white lights. It's getting close. That was a difficult second attempt. Take a look at here.
Yeah, I've got to say I agree with you that very close to getting blues there for hitching, but it's just his hips coming back and forward.
Got to be that right leg in particular. Got to be careful. He is right at the edge. Be interesting to see what they load up for his third. Mohammed Al-Katan, 190, 10 kilo jump, representing Kuwait. Shaky, but locks it out. 3 white lights. And you just pointed out to me, Amelia, Valachukas opting not to come out for his third. And I think that's probably about right. I don't think he's got any more in him.
Yeah, but it will affect the other athletes as he scratched it out instead of putting another number in to let the clock run down.
So I was saying earlier, 7 athletes, very quick turnaround, especially in the deadlifts when you're taking big jumps, and now it's 6. This is like when you're at the gym and it's just 6 guys working out together, working in on the same rack. This is really quick. 10-kilo jump for Wong. The spicy pot just got a lot spicier in the 59-kilo class. Let's see what happens.
Three white lights, a good lift, a nice looking second attempt there.
Yeah, it looks like he might be grabbing his shoulder as he leaves the platform. He has 1 lift left to go. Sometimes some of these lifters, you give so much on the platform, and by the time the last deadlift rolls around, you're just asking, what does my body have left in it? Sai, 215 for his second attempt.
Yeah, this leaves him just 2.5 kilos shy of his deadlift PB on his second attempt.
The world record, 275 kilos.
Really good so far. That's your strong man. Come on.
Looks good.
3 white lights, yeah, very tidy lift. Has room to go into his third there, easily.
230 kilos now being loaded for Mateo. "12 years competing, 33 years old, would not have expected that." And he's just a stitch fired up, huh? Handled that 10-kilo jump.
Yeah, and room to go into his third also. He seems pretty chuffed with his second.
Yeah, that's definitely a PR. And like I said earlier, you never know what this means domestically. Some of these nations, these are national records, and they're making history with every poll. Jong, South Korea, 232.5, 12.5-kilo jump. Smooth pull.
Let's see what we will do on his third. Maybe he'll be a threat for the podium, who knows? Coming from the people, it's always.
Now we know he's getting close to the podium, obviously without the ability to fight in that A group. So I'll be interested to see what he pushes for in that third.
And he's basically shooting blind, just max out, do the best you can. Currently his total rests at 577.5. We thought coming into this 600 and up would be a podium, but a lot of podium favorites missed a lot of lifts.
And I can tell you now he's putting 245, which would give him a 590 total and gives him a great shot of the podium.
Yeah, that might do it. 247.5 for you. Big jump, and he handles it. 3 white lights. What an interesting turn of events if the South Korean can upset some of the podium favorites and net himself a medal and a shot at the World Games. Doing so also in an abbreviated deadlift session. I mean, this is super lightning fast. Only 6 lifters now. His mantle was tested. Let's see what he does. 12.5 kilo jump from his second. But first, Mohammed Al-Katan, 200 kilos even.
And the bar is loaded. Come on, Mohammed, one last try.
It's a big milestone, a new PB, 200 kilos, a number a lot of athletes chase. It's just a little bit too much there, unfortunately, for Al-Katan.
We'll finish with a 190 kilos deadlift and a 500 kilos hold.
You'll see some of the lifters handshaking the refs as they conclude their day. This deadlift session was quick. Isaac Wong, 217.5.
So 7.5 kilo jump, and it'll give him a new personal best should he make this.
And the bar is loaded.
Representing Singapore.
One last effort before the end of the competition. Time to give it all.
Gets it off the ground, but it's too much on the day.
We are yet to see a successful third attempt in this flight of lifters, so hopefully that can change soon.
I think that's a direct result of the pace. You could train for a lot of things, but training to compete at the World Championships and everything that goes with it, with only 6 lifters.
Yeah, and by this time, you know, you've already squatted and benched, and your energy is going to be tanked anyway, let alone how fast-paced it is.
10 kilo jump for Sai, 225. Let's see if Sai can turn this around and be the first lifter to get a third attempt.
Once in. After this attempt, no more changing to the openers of the A group. Thank you. Come on, man, come on.
Again, too much.
So no lifts, he'll finish with
Yeah, it was a 10 kilo jump, which is big at this body weight anyway, but as we said, you're tired at the end of the competition, it's your final lift of the day, and it is moving so fast. I mean, we kicked off squats about 2 hours ago.
You know, it's a great storyline if Zhang from the B group can add pressure to the A group, but the way this third round of deadlifts is going,
bars loaded, 237.5.
it's going to be a remarkable feat if he could pull it off. 237.5 for Mateo, who is super stoked with 230 on his second attempt, and the intensity is just ramping up. Again, though.
Yeah, and I do worry sometimes when athletes yell and shout through their lifts. Is it energy better conserved for the lift potentially?
I don't know. I know myself, if I get myself ramped up, it can help. It's the pacing, I think. Let's find out. 245 for Young. This will overall put him in the bronze medal position before any lifting in Group A. And of course, Group A will then come and try to nudge him down. But with a 590 kilo total, should he hit this, he's a threat and left a very high mark for anyone who wants to nudge him off that podium. What a story it would be if he qualifies for World Games out of the B group.
That would be absolutely amazing. Let's see if he can pull it off.
Oh. And that's where the story ends, unfortunately. You know what? If this was a full class, had a little bit more time to recuperate, might have been a different tale. But so far, we've had no successful attempts on the last, with 260 being loaded now. And look at that. It was untidy, up, down, knees couldn't lock out, probably ramping. Just wasn't going to happen, as you will attempt to be the only lifter from Group B to get their final deadlift in.
And it's completely possible that he could sneak onto the medals for deadlifts with a 260, which perhaps is what he's aiming for. It's 15 kilos below the world record.
You from Group B looking to get onto the deadlift podium. 12.5 kilos onto his pull will help. And that should be the first one. 3 white lights, and we end Group B in style. You being the only lifter to get his third and final deadlift and possibly earning a spot on the podium. But we'll have to see what Group A does, which is the perfect segue, because with no break, we're moving directly into Group A. This is, of course, the openers, as Takayama of Japan will open with 180 kilos.
And I think we've got quite used to his style now. I think we'll imagine a slightly bigger jump to his second, as his personal best is 230.
Yeah, opening really light, taking a big jump to your second gives the benefit of energy conservation, gets you on the board. If there's any kind of hiccups in that opening pull, you know you got it in the second attempt. It's a weight that you could do any day. Whoa, super fast, maybe a little too fast, little speed wobble. 3 white lights though, and he's okay. And that's the thing when it comes to sumo. Your feet are obviously spread, so balance can be an issue at lockout. Sometimes when it's light, it's too light. And with that speed, there's a little wobble at the top, but the bar itself doesn't do any down up. Shoulders were locked out, and Chong, 215, representing Malaysia.
Now the weight looked nice and easy for him, but I was worried about the lockout there.
And it's distressing because it is the opening lifts, 2 up.
Let's have a look at that again on the replay.
Yeah,
Jesse,
do you think the shoulders? Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah, I think he's got quite a close grip, and sometimes that is quite hard in sumo to then pull your shoulders all the way through.
Canada Dixon, 230 for his opening pull. 3 white lights. And he's on the board. Total solidified.
And it looks like Chung from Malaysia has chosen to jump 10 kilos anyway, despite not getting an opener in on the board. So confident in his ability there.
Ivan Campano. Spain, 240 kilos.
You see Matt Gary there keeping his eye out on Campano Diaz.
Okay, that was smooth.
And that will be why.
Right back into the hunt. 3 white lights.
Now it seems like a lot of these lifters change their opening attempts and push them up.
Up? Wow. I thought maybe it would have been the opposite, but maybe now they're trying to apply pressure to each other. Wasker Carpio, 240 kilos.
And perhaps as well with the pressure from Jong, it was felt in the warm-up room.
Wasker has hit every lift. Right on pace. Wow. Smooth, easy pull. That might have been the best opener we've seen from him today.
Yeah, I think it might have been his best lift all day. I was going to say the same thing. Looking really strong here on deadlifts. And by looking at the scoreboard at the moment, your dream of a 600-plus podium may not be out of reach yet, Ryan.
Yeah, when we look at this, Garcia looking at 600 and up. Obviously, Wasker already there. Nabi, 242.5.
And obviously, he lost some kilos on squat, has some chasing to do in deadlift, but he has got a big deadlift on him.
Can he cover that gap? If he hits, takes big jumps, and continues to hit, others miss, you never know. Plenty more.
Yeah, that looked really strong. 3 white lights, a good lift. And I think he moved his opener up 2.5 kilos, which may not seem like much, but when it comes down to it, 2.5 kilos might be all it takes.
It's also, sometimes you want to pull after certain people, so you see them coming, and if you can continue that pace, they're always going to put in their next attempt before you, and you could try staying ahead. Garcia, 245, representing France. Once he hits this, he's already at 600 kilos and already at a personal best total with 2 more lifts to go. In the most stacked 59 kilo class the world's ever seen, Garcia rising to the occasion.
It looks good. And it is 3 white lights, a good lift. And to your point, Ryan, for an ex-world champion to have to be hitting PBs just to fight on the podium shows how stacked it is today.
Dion Louis of New Zealand, 260 kilo opener. A reminder, 275 is the world record. Hits it. A little bit of movement at the top of lockout. 3 white lights, though.
And I would be surprised, like you said, if we don't see him attempt for that world record today. We know that's what he came here to do.
He's definitely going to take a swing at it. Yeah, it actually looked a lot smoother and better in the slow-mo replay. as we take a look at the deadlift scoreboard. You in the lead. That's going to be temporary. Dion. Of course, we have the Group B that's done all 3 rounds, where Group A only in their openers. There's a picture of the total. Wasker, Antoine Garcia, then Yoon from Korea from the B group holding, but Ivan Campano with only 1 deadlift already tied, and then on 4th on body weight. Expecting Ivan to move ahead, and who knows, there's a lot more lifting left to go. As you see, Nabi from Great Britain not far behind Dixon, not without reason. Depending on who hits, who misses, it's still anybody's game to get on that podium, but Wasker looking like a solid favorite for that gold medal.
Yeah, and like you said, Jung's still holding on, but with 2 deadlifts to go, something would have to go quite wrong for Pando Diaz and Nabi to not pull ahead. But weirder things have happened.
And if I got a second here, and I think I do, I'll give another shout out to our sponsors, Alico, who supplied the equipment you see here today on the platform, as well as SBD supplying a lot of the singlets, sponsoring the teams as the spotters and loaders get the bar ready for Takayama, who will come out to 210 kilos representing Japan. And I wonder, this little break, how it'll help the lifters, because in Group B, that pace was a killer, and only one of the lifters got their final pull. And now that all the lifters here got a couple minutes added for recuperation, maybe we'll see some of those big lifts.
Yeah, you often see that. You can ask the bar to be wiped down at any point to help the lifters, but in more than ways than one, you know, gives them some extra time. Yeah, still moving well for him. 3 white lights, a good lift, and yet again the big jump pays off.
Now this is interesting for me. Eugene Chung from Malaysia missed 215, opting to go up 225. If you believe you missed a lift, that was your opener on a technicality, and you think I could, change a few things, I think I'll hit it. You tell your team that, well, that's great. Move up anyways. But you can miss your second attempt that's 10 kilos more off of strength. You could fix technicalities, but fixing strength is a lot harder when you only got a couple minutes. Having said that, he's trying to apply pressure. This will put him in 5th temporarily. If he wants to keep pace, he needs this 10-kilo jump. I understand the reasoning. It's just a risky proposition. Oh, looks like the risk might have paid off.
No, the same problem with lockout there, 2-1. Let's have a look at that again, because it's hard to see from that angle.
So we think it's the shoulders.
Jury will look at it as the coach goes over.
That looked okay to me.
It looked better than his first, for sure.
And the coach is talking to the jury, and the jury's deliberating. And I think...
Yep, there we go. It has been overturned, I believe.
And I want to see the official overturned to being a good lift. I agree with the jury there. I thought that was a good lift as well.
Which, of course, means pressure applied.
Pressure applied. Dixon, 242.5. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I think he realized he was getting into supporting territory there and decided not to spend the energy, if you will. I think it got quite backy early on there, which, compared to how his opener looked, was not his style.
Yeah, his knees locked pretty early. The back well-rounded. He was out of position. Maybe he could fix that. And Campano, 255, representing Spain. 15-kilo jump. And you know he wants to finish on the podium. This will temporarily move him into third place, but we got another round of deadlifting left to go and several lifters still in the second round. A lot of movement can happen, but he needs these kilos. Wow, that was smooth as well, wasn't it, Amelia?
Yeah, wow, he is a phenomenal deadlifter and he is so fired up. You're going to have to pry that podium medal and place out of his hand.
He actually looks, you know, sometimes lifters, when things don't go the way they wanted in the first two events, get almost bitter, like this is their revenge. And he's fired up, but here's Wasco Carpio, 255. Hit 240 smooth. 15 kilo jump for him. He has a lead.
But Garcia is hot on his tail, so Carpio is going to want to hit everything to stay with that healthy lead.
Yeah, Garcia's surprisingly hot on his tail as well. For Garcia to be at 600 kilos after his opener, a little bit of a surprise. Wow, that was smooth.
Yeah, but just as we've seen before, his second looked even better than his opener.
And that should slam the door shut on any hopes of him missing and any other contender, likely Garcia, to capitalize. Because now he's at 625 for his total. And that should be out of reach.
Yeah, Garcia would have to do something pretty unbelievable. Hit a world record deadlift, and in fact, to manage that.
Speaking of Garcia, he is 255. Now, Garcia might not be eyeing that gold medal now. That Wasker's proven it's just going to be out of reach, but he has to pay attention to all these other lifters right behind him. There you see Panagiotis, 66 kilo world champion, who lifts tomorrow in attendance, rooting on his teammate as Garcia locks out 255. 3 white lights, and Garcia having lifting day of his life now at 610.
Yeah, and like we keep saying, even if the gold medal has run away a little bit, the podium spots are still so important. And as Ryan has just pointed out to me, I imagine as a placeholder, but maybe not, Campano Diaz has put in for 285, which would slide him into silver ahead of Garcia.
And then some. That's got to be a placeholder, but it's a 30 kilo jump. He doesn't need it. Nabi, 257.5, but my God, if he walks out to it. But anyways, we'll let you know. First, Nabi, big jump here, trying to cover some ground and potentially get on the podium.
Still looks really strong, at the very least looking for a deadlift medal. And with 285, obviously that would be 10 kilos above the current world record, or 9.5 depending how the next minute goes.
Yeah, nice cue up here for Dion Louis of New Zealand, 275.5. Lived up to his promise. That world record will be loaded. And history might be made in the 59 kilo class as Mike Z breaks out the chips.
And on his second attempt, no less.
This is why he's here. He's not going to get onto that podium. Bench press session. Almost a break for him. Gather himself. It was a tough squat session, but he should be ready. He's been waiting a year to get revenge on this world record. How does this story unfold, Amelia?
Can redemption be his?
Redemption is just one pull away. This tension, that delay is just rising the tensions as everyone on the edge of their seat.
Of course, every second delayed is helping Louis out.
As well as the other lifters. It's a quick pace, and there's been a couple of breaks now here in the 59 kilo class. and the crowd is cheering. The world record announcement has been made, and everybody knows they're witnessing something special. Oh, and a down up, but he locks it out. And this is why you take it on your second attempt, because he will have another shot at it with his third. The strength was there. If he could just tighten up, we'll take a look at this replay here. Down up, right at the knees, able to lock it out, has the strength. Can he clean that up for his third attempt, Amelia?
I hope so. The strength is clearly there. And just to put that in perspective, that is over 4.5 times body weight. It is insane. And it looks like he's going for the same again, and why wouldn't you? That is, unless we see Campano Diaz going
Wow.
for 285 afterwards.
And this is why Team New Zealand loaded it on his second attempt to give him 2 possible tries at this world record. Takayama, 230 kilos being loaded, representing Japan.
Yeah, another big jump here for Takayama for a matched personal best.
Oh, just that lockout. And this is what happens. These lifters are pushing themselves right to the limit and sometimes over it, as we're into the third and final round of pulls and the final lifts for the 59 kilo world title.
Yeah, and I feel like it could be a similar story to the B flight, where it's moving so quickly. As we've just seen, it really takes its toll.
Right now, in the 59 kilo class, only one lifter has got their final pull. 235 now for Eugene Chung of Malaysia. Missed his opening pull, jumped up 10 kilos, hit it, and now another 10 kilos to 235.
A lovely smooth third attempt and a good lift. And Brian, a part of me wonders what would have happened if he put 2.5 kilos more in that, because if he did that and Campano Diaz missed, whatever his third attempt may be, he would have got onto the podium on body weight. Although hindsight is...
Yeah, it's that 20/20 hindsight, and of course, all the deadlifters, you're allowed to change your last deadlift twice. All the pullers after him can change their attempt selection. I know what you mean, though. Now you have to wait in the warm-up room and see how it all unfolds. 242.5 for Dixon. Should he hit this, he'll end up with 572.5. Too much on the day.
We have just 5 deadlifts remaining this first session.
If everybody hits their final pulls that they have in place now, we'll have 2 lifters 600 kilos and up, one at 597.5. And it will be a battle to get on that podium. I see Britain's Nabby possibly with a placeholder of 270. Depends on if Ivan Campano ahead of him hits his final pull. Applying pressure from behind. This is a very tight race. Ivan 260. He knows if he misses, Great Britain will load up and try to nudge him off the podium. This is a very pivotal pole for Ivan. And it looks like he's hit, and that was crucial for his podium potential. Tosses the belt aside. He knows his day is over, and he's got to sit on the sidelines and watch.
Yeah, I mean, he is a reliable deadlifter, but man, it's been a bit of a scrappy day all round, so he's done incredibly well, and as you said, all he can do now is sit and wait.
I know the total of 597.5 isn't what Campana wanted, but if he ends up on the podium, all's well that ends well, as Garcia hits the platform for 260 as well. This will push him to 615 kilos, which is well above anything he's ever done before. Garcia having the lifting day of his life. Stuck at the knees, but still.
Now, let me say this. I was about to say the only way Nabi could win is if he put the world record attempt in, and as I thought that, Great Britain have put in 275.
As we expected, Ivan getting pressured by Nabi. It's going to come down right to the last pull, who makes it onto the podium. And Huáscar Carpio, 267.5 will give him a total of 637.5. If he hits this, it's a world title. It's a ticket to Sheffield. Already got the World Games. What a pivotal performance for Huáscar Carpio. Can he go 9 for 9? And he locks it out, and that was a fight to get that lockout. 3 white lights. It cannot be contested. Can you believe the heart on Huáscar? Looked like he wasn't going to complete that lift for a moment. Overcome, and that was a scrap, Amelia.
What an absolutely amazing day for Huáscar. Ended on 637.5. The emotion on the platform, and here in the arena is absolutely incredible.
I did not think he was going to lock it out by the time he was about an inch over his knees, and he never stopped pulling. And talk about emotion, 275 loaded for Nabi, trying to push himself onto the podium, end up with a medal and a ticket to World Games. Wow, have the 59s lived up.
It's been an absolutely electric session, and as we said, you'd have to pull a world record to get on the podium, and an attempt is here to do so for Nabi.
And this would be the 600 kilo and up podium that I had been hoping for.
Ryan's got his fingers crossed, and everyone else does as well.
My toes crossed too.
This would be a huge Hail Mary.
Oh my gosh! Oh, just a little too much.
But what heart on him. What an effort.
He had to do it. Team Britain had to do it. Load it up.
Nothing to lose whatsoever. It's not quite done yet, but what a session we've had.
This is the greatest 59 kilo. We said it was the toughest class, and it's lived up with the drama, as Dion Louis of New Zealand, 275.5, one more shot at this world record. The chips come back out. Mike Z handing it off to the spotters and loaders.
The 59 kilos have certainly set the pace for the rest of the competition.
It's a high bar.
It is.
And it's not often you start off with this. What a beginning to a world championship.
As it's called by the locals. So that is what it's called. They look here, they know, right?
Now, if you remember, it didn't look like strength was an issue. There was a wobble at the top. He locked it out and completed it. Can he tidy it up and make this official? Here he comes. There's a whole nother swagger to him this time, though, Amelia.
Dion Louis is locked in for that world record. He's been chasing it for a while now. It's now or another year.
He showed me his thumb is badly injured coming into the event, but he's not going to feel that now. Just at the lockout.
That is such a shame. The pressure was high and I'm sure he felt it, but
As you said, there will be another day and the journey continues, but what a show these 59s put on, Amelia. Wasker Carpio had his sights set for that 637.5 kilo total. Takes a deadlift gold medal, you the silver, Campano the bronze. As we look at the totals though, Wasker Carpio, back-to-back world champion, going to World Games, going to Sheffield, 637.5. And what a performance he put on, doing an excellent 9 for 9. And Antoine Garcia of France also having a phenomenal day, ending with 610. And Campano from Spain, 597.5. And that will just about do it as we have the medal ceremony. If the rest of the World Championships is anything like this, Amelia, we can't miss a single session.
we're in for a good time. Come back for the 47s at 5 p.m. local time. For now, the medal ceremony, and we'll see you soon.
participation medals. We will give out medals for individual lifts first, and we will then crown the new world champion. Okay, everyone has their participation medals. So it is time to present the results for the individual lifts first. So taking squat bronze with 217.5 kilos from Korea, Ji-Hoon Jung. And that was from the B group, ladies and gentlemen. Taking silver with 222.5 kilos from the United States of America, it is Huascar Carpio. Thank you, Huascar. And taking squat gold, also with 222.5 kilos, I believe there's 40 grams body weight in it, it is Francis Antoine Garcia. Great job, gentlemen. Thank you very much. Can everyone get their photos? Everyone got the photos? Thank you. If you will rejoin your fellow competitors at the back, and we will now go with the individual lifts medals for bench. So, wow, look how close that is. In bronze medal position, with 142.5 kilos, from Malaysia is Eugene Chong. Taking silver, also with 142.5 kilos, from Japan, it's Yasutaka Takayama. And taking bench press gold with 147.5 kilos from the USA is none other than Huascar Carpio. Okay. Photos, please. Thank you, gentlemen. And now to the individual lifts for deadlift. I know it was only a moment ago. And again, super close. In bronze medal position with 260 kilos from Spain, it is Ivan Campano Diaz. Honestly, the system of IPF lifting just gets better and better every year. Also with 260 kilos, the silver medal goes to Chinese Taipei's Yao Wei Yu. Also making the podium from the B group. Super close. Which means that, I'm sure this is no surprise, deadlift gold with 267.5 kilos goes to the USA's Huascar Carpio. Yeah. Well done, gentlemen. Great job. Everyone have their photos? Yeah, cameras are going down. Thank you, gentlemen. If you would just for one more time, rejoin your fellow competitors in the back, and it is time to announce the overalls and crown the new 59-kilo Classic World Champion 2024. In bronze medal position, 597.5 kilos from Spain, Ivan Campano Diaz. And he also receives a Chengdu Panda and a goodie bag from our sponsor ESN. In silver medal position with 610 kilos from France, it is Antoine Garcia. And that panda means, ladies and gentlemen, that comes with an invite to the World Games in Chengdu, the hotspot next year. Which means that your new 59 kilo open world champion with 637.5 kilos total, he's from the USA. He is none other than Rasta Carpio! Goodie bag, panda, and yes, and these are the invites to Chengdu, which will be given to each of these gentlemen. Make sure you get those on the ground straight away, boys. So, ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding for the national anthem of the United States of America. Well done, gentlemen. What a competition. Back-to-back world titles, is it, Wester? I do believe. So that's very, very nice. I am told that's correct. That is 2 back-to-back titles for Wester so far. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in giving these amazing, amazing 59 kilo competitors one last round of applause as they follow the technical control in a clockwise fashion from the platform.